Hey everyone, welcome back to the fourth episode of Crossroads. Today, in this episode, we have a very special guest with us, Rishikesh. He has been working as a software developer at Amazon. He joined recently in the month of July. So, Rishikesh, can you introduce yourself to the guests,
Hello
to the
everyone.
audience?
Thanks a lot, Guru Prasad, for inviting me. First of all, as Guru Prasad told, I recently joined in Amazon as a software development engineer just 2 weeks back. I have also interned at Amazon also last year, and I was also a Microsoft student partner. So I guess that's it from my side.
Yeah, okay. So, at the end of third year, you did an internship at Amazon, right? So,
Yeah.
how was the process? Was it they came to your campus or it was an off-campus internship?
So Amazon came to my campus. Thus, it was an on-campus internship opportunity. And
Okay.
should I tell about the process also, or is it
Yeah,
okay?
yeah, yeah. You can go ahead. You can tell about the
Yeah.
process.
So it was like first there was a coding round which had around uh, like 20-25 MCQs and two coding questions. One coding question was quite difficult, so like hardly anyone was able to do it, but other one was quite easy. But
Mhm.
the deciding factor in the interview was the MCQs because around 300 people sat for the test and 100 around not 100 around 60-70 people were able to solve the coding question, but only 11-19 were shortlisted. So the
Okay.
decision was made solely on the basis of MCQs. That was the like tiebreaker kind of thing. Then we had around 2 rounds of interviews. So
Okay.
there was no HR interview or any kind of thing or a bar reserve that we have in Amazon. So
Mm.
such thing was not there for internships stuff. And
Yeah.
I had 2 rounds of interviews. So they mostly asked around DSA, object-oriented programming, and so C++ concepts. So I'm good with C++ compared to Java. So they
Okay.
asked around C++ and all those stuff. So yeah, that was like the basic, pretty normal interview.
Okay. So, which other companies? You're from which college, by the way? Sorry.
Yeah.
For
So
asking.
I'm from VJTI College, Veermata
Okay.
Jizabai Technological Institute, Mumbai. It's
Uh,
uh, it's a like very renowned college in Maharashtra.
okay. Okay. So, which other companies come there? Like big companies.
Okay, so
Okay.
see, like our college has a good placement record. Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs. Recently, Goldman Sachs started coming. Then Udan, Amazon, then Samsung, SAP Labs. So these are like the other top-notch companies that come here. So come in my college.
Okay. So, how many people got selected during that internship?
So there were 19 people shortlisted for the interviews, out of which no, I'm sorry, 7 people were selected for the internship.
Okay, 7 people were selected. Nice. How did you prepare for that? It was in third year. So, when did you actually start your preparation for the
Yeah.
interviews and all?
So so my plan was to study in the gap between the second year and third year. We
Okay.
have a summer vacation of around two months, but
Yeah.
I was not able to fully execute it. I had some other things to look after. So
Mm.
I was also a lot of things into extracurricular activities also. So I was not able to give time to the preparation stuff, and as a result, I failed a lot in the first 3 to 5 interviews. So at that time, I just took a pause from everything else and focused on preparation for the interviews. I continuously studied for around 20-25 days with a huge focus on DSA and Amazon specific questions. So like because there was a huge gap between the company that came before Amazon and Amazon. So around I had around 20-25 days, and in
Okay.
that 20-25 days I just like worked really hard around you can say 6 to 8 hours every day and
Mm.
solving around 20 to 30 questions. So it was insane at that time. Like, matlab, even I don't like doubt myself. Did I do that? But the thing is, yes, I did. And the thing is, ki, if you practice a lot, and like the thing is, in DSA and coding and all, practice is key. Like, as and when you practice, everything will be like everything will look easy to you.
Oh. So you are more of a competitive pro. You do
No, no,
competitive programming?
No, no, no. I'm not a core competitive coder kind of person. Like I, matlab, the best ranking in a code show that I had was a 3 star. That was also for just 1 week. So
Okay.
I'm not a like core competitive programmer or not a supporter of that kind of thing. I prefer like solving complex things, making them easier. So more of like I'm a system design kind of guy. So I like system design more than competitive programming.
Okay. So which all websites did you practice from? Which all were your go-to websites when you're practicing for DS and Algo?
So, Geeks for Geeks was my first prime choice to study. Then,
Mhm.
like for practicing and all, Geeks for Geeks IDEs were not that good enough at that time. Like
Yeah.
even if you solve the worst, like even if you solve a question that was supposed to be solved in O of n complexity, and even if you solve it in O of n cube, it will just accept the solution. So that was the issue with Geeks for Geeks. But some like I practiced it on it also. Then
Mm.
other place that I practiced was HackerRank.
Okay.
Uh, I started practicing first on HackerRank, and I also practiced a bit on Interview Bit. At that time, I didn't know about Lead Code, but
Yeah.
Lead Code is also a good platform to practice.
Okay. Okay. So what was your experience at the internship? 2 months internship. It was not like now presently how it is the COVID situation. You had it on the Amazon campus, right?
On campus. Yeah, so it was like very nice. The thing is, Malab, the one thing that I learned was keep what you learn in college, what you do in college is, and what you do in actual job is very much different. There's like, it's completely different. So there are build systems, there everything is on cloud-based systems. So and everything we do in college is theoretical, but everything that we do there is practical. Like, I use graphs so much that I could take someone's interview on based on graphs. So it's very different from what we do, what we think, and the environment also good. Like teammates help you. Sometimes but there's nothing like working hours, all those kind of things. So yeah, it's a good environment.
Which team were you part of in the Amazon? Like
So
single team.
yeah, I can tell you the name, but you won't understand. But I'll tell you in layman terms what was my team's job.
Yeah.
In short, we are the KYC team. We'll just verify whatever your data is, name, like matching your name with the name that is on your Aadhaar card, PAN card. So this is in layman terms. Like we were in the KYC team.
Okay, okay, that's nice. So after the internship, only you got your results that you got a PPO, right? So was it
Yeah,
during
yeah.
that they told you?
No, so the thing is, like we have a system called bar as a kind of thing.
Hmm.
So for that, they need time. Manager sits with my mentor, and these two persons sit with third person. He is called a bar raiser. So that person doesn't know me personally. He's completely unknown person. So that
Mhm.
person reviews my work, and that process takes a bit of time. So my result came around after around 1.5, around 2 months after my internship was over.
Okay, okay, that's nice. So you also gave a interview at Google, right? I've seen a lot of LinkedIn
Yeah,
posts stating
yeah.
how I got rejected from Google. So how did you get to interview there? You applied?
Okay, so yeah, so after my internship was completed, I was in a dark area. I didn't know whether I was going to get an offer from Amazon or not. So
Yeah.
I was in a dark area, and at that time, Google had an opening for software developer engineer, software engineers of 2020 graduates, undergraduates. So I had applied for that position, but I didn't
Mhm.
hear anything from them. A few
Mhm.
days later, I saw a post on LinkedIn where a person from Google, who was a software SD2 in
Mhm.
Google, was giving out referrals. So I just contacted him and asked, like, can you refer me for this position? And he reviewed my profile, he reviewed my resume, and he gave me a referral. So that completely changed my application, and like skyrocketed, like, fast tracked my application to be exact.
Okay.
And I received a call from the recruiter within few days. We scheduled an interview. She told me about what should you study, what should be your plan, how will the interview process go on, and all those kind of things.
Mhm.
And I had, and like during that time only I received my job offer from Amazon. So maybe that was the reason why I was not able to like why didn't I study properly. But yeah, it's okay. And I had my interview around mid-December. So
Yeah.
and it was a good experience. Like it was my first virtual interview, so something new to learn. And
So
yeah.
how many rounds were there in that Google interview? Like everything was virtual, is it?
No, at that time we had nothing like a COVID situation. So it was like for one or two interviews will be virtual first, and then next five interviews will be on-site. So that was the like plan that was told to me, but I was able to go till only the first interview. So that was the virtual interview.
Okay, so like you might have had a lot of time. You applied for it in the month of maybe August or September, and you got your interview in
Yeah,
December.
but like I didn't studied a lot, so there were other stuffs also going on with college. Like I had my projects and all those kind of things. So yeah,
And then you also did some research work, right, related to blockchain, and like came across
yeah,
some
yeah,
ideas. What is
yeah.
that?
So it was completely kind of, you can say I had some good threads in my luck, I guess. But yeah, so it was my final year project, and our guide just told ki why don't you apply for write a paper and apply for this conference. We wrote a paper within 36 hours, and
Mhm.
it got accepted. Everyone was shocked, and it was also on KYC using blockchain. So
Okay.
and we went to Dubai for its presentation just before the COVID situation broke out in the month of January, and yeah, like it was a great, like it was my first publication. So one thing I would like to tell you, like a lot of people hesitate for before publishing paper. They think that there should be it should be like a completely new thing, like it should be completely you should offer 100% novelty. It's not like that. Like even if you offer 1% or 10% novelty in your idea, it becomes a research paper. So it like you don't overthink it. But like, even if you do it the wrong way, but if it's a new idea and like if it has some advantages, it can be a research paper. So don't stress yourself over that. I want my idea to be unique enough to then
Mhm.
only I publish a paper. All those kind of things.
Yeah, okay, that's also nice to hear. So, if we talk about the how is the work culture at Amazon? Like I read at so many places, online portals and all that, the work culture there is very hectic as compared to other companies and all. So, how is the work culture there basically?
To be honest, I haven't like gone through that kind of hectic phase right now.
Yeah, it might be start. Yeah.
Yeah, that because that's the reason because I have just started, and
Mhm.
in the internship also it's okay. Like there is work, but uh, I haven't experienced that kind of experience that people actually say about Amazon. But the thing is, we have some systems that sometimes pressurize us. But the thing is, like our end goal is customer obsession. We want to like
Yeah.
get the customer what he wants, and that's the first priority.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay. Like it's manageable.
Yeah.
I'm not going to comment much on that.
Yeah, Amazon is a totally customer obsessed company. They tell it everywhere, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. So also one more thing is that in I've read it a lot of places, Amazon interviews they stress a lot upon leadership questions, and I heard of star principles also. If you know, can you explain what it is?
Okay, so for internship, they didn't have any kind of such kind of leadership interview or any kind of thing for us. For
Hmm.
placement interview, they do have a bar raiser. So
Hmm.
what's a bar raiser? Like it's a replacement for an HR, substitute for an HR interview. So
Hmm.
and in that interview, the bar raiser is an employee only, but he's a very senior employee. You
Hmm.
can say senior or a principal software developer. He is
Hmm.
very experienced with like with the Amazon infrastructure and all the Amazon's ideology. So he will like kind of test you or judge you on the kind of leadership skills or the the way you act in such some situations. So all those kind of things. So Amazon has like around 14 leadership principles. So in which we try to implement all those leadership principles every day at work. So like it's like a behavioral interview. Like,
Okay.
are you a perfect match for this for our company culture? So all those kind of things. So that's been judged there. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. So, how much did college role play in your getting an internship at Amazon? Like the curriculum at college, is it in sync with the curriculum or whatever you need to prepare for the interviews and all? What do you say
Yeah.
about that?
So I can't say that college did not play any role in my like internship or job placement. But the thing is, college played a role in getting me the interview in the first place.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
I had
that's good.
been with some other college, I would have not got that chance to interview with Amazon or any of the big tech companies. So that's the first advantage of having being in a good college. But
Yeah.
and another thing was key. Excuse me. So another thing is key. mm, the thing is like our colleges has a portion very different from other colleges, like it's autonomous college, so we
Okay.
follow completely different portion, completely different grading system and all those kind of thing. So not like we are not at the level of IITs and NITs, but we have some level of autonomy. We like our professors choose their own portion. As a result, the thing is keep our DSA topics, the curriculums related to DSA are quite rigorous. Like,
Okay.
matlab, hardly anyone got marks above 70. Highest
Hmm.
marks were around 70. So the questions were quite tricky and all those kind of things. So that made me think a lot harder compared to like if I had like done engineering in normal college, they ask a straightforward question ki, write an algorithm for binary search. But here it's completely a use case ki, given the scenario, which algorithm will you use, what is the space complexity, all those kind of things. And third aspect is clubs. So we have a club called Community of Coders in our college. So they
Hmm.
used to have discussion sessions with seniors. They used to have workshops for around DSA and other topics. So that helped me like get up with coding and all the other concepts related to coding.
Okay. Okay. You also mentioned that you are part of extracurricular clubs in your college, so many
Yeah,
curricular clubs. So what all did you do apart from studying in college?
okay, so the thing is, I didn't study. What I did was I did everything in extracurricular only. So there's
Yeah.
a fest called Technovanza. You can
Hmm.
just look it up on YouTube. So it has a great fan following on YouTube also.
Hmm.
So in like I ended up becoming the secretary of that festival in my third year. So
Okay.
I was very active in that festival. Like I used to look after the finances of the festival in my third year, and yeah, so it taught me a lot of things like how to live in a real world, how to interact with people, leadership skills, or managing people. That's the biggest thing. Like and selling things. The the thing is, whatever be your job, be you a software developer or be you like any kind of marketing personnel, your end job is selling. You sell your ideas to someone else. In software development, you're selling an algorithmic idea to a manager, and in marketing, you're selling a marketing idea to your manager. So everything is on salesmanship. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I learned that skill there. It helped me a lot. Also, I mentioned about COC. So I used to in early days, I used to be a part of the students part where I used to learn things, and in later stage, I used to teach things. So that was also a good place where I like what can say ki, sharpen my technical skills.
Okay. Okay. So you are a believer that communication skills are completely necessary for getting
Yes,
a
yes.
software developer job.
No, I'm not saying getting a software developer job.
No, I mean
Uh,
like if you are having
yeah,
interviews and all,
yeah.
communication
If
skills
you want
play a
to,
role.
if you want to be a like a good software developer, or if you want to be a leader in some area, communication skills is very much important.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Okay. So apart from that, like if imagine somebody is a full noob and he wants to get into these companies, high level companies and also, what would your suggestion be if they want to get into product based companies? Most of the times it happens is that people don't get clear past the first stage, so they don't get to interview. Many
Mhm.
people might be preparing, but they don't get to interview, or many people don't know which are the actual and exact resources to refer to. So what would your
Mhm.
suggestions to such kind of people be?
So, firstly, I'd like to tell them ki get active on LinkedIn. You will get to know a lot of new people, get to like get a lot of resources. So that's the thing. Ki matlab, the reason why I started being so active on LinkedIn and started a YouTube channel, a blog, there's a reason behind it. So when I first posted my when I posted that I got a job at Amazon, around hundreds of people messaged me saying, Ki, Bhaiya, how did you get a job in Amazon? And I realized the people literally don't know from where to start. And we
Yeah,
like and what we feel is ki, matlab, when you know a thing, you feel it's very easy. You can just Google it and find it. But the thing is, it's not that easy for them. So that's why I started to guide as many people as possible. So similar thing, like once you get on LinkedIn, you will find similar people. You will get to know a lot of resources. So all those kind of things. And like every day, someone or the other tells you ki you can use this website, you can use that website that will help you, and you can find your starting position. And Geeks for Geeks is a really great platform to start, like everything. If you have any doubt, all those kind of things. So just get on Geeks for Geeks. I'm sure like you will get an idea about what you need to do, what you don't need to do, and just yeah, that's what I like to say. And coming to the interviews part, ki most people get rejected. I suggest keep trying. Even I got rejected in multiple interviews. So just keep trying, keep practicing. You'll get your interview.
okay, that's nice. So apart from studies, college, and all, what all are your hobbies? What all do you do in your free time?
Okay, so I have recently picked up reading. So I
Nice.
try to read at least 20 to 30 pages every day. Then
Okay.
also I write blogs. So I'm not that much active, but yeah, I like to write blogs. So I like writing. Sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's about technical topics, sometimes it's about life. And binge watching maybe.
You watch shows and all, like web series?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I watch sometimes. So I recently completed Peaky Blinders. Then I'm
Mm.
currently watching Hannah season 2.
Okay, okay. So you're from which branch? I forgot to ask. You're from which computer
Yeah,
science?
I'm from information technology, so it's not even CS.
I think in our college also most of the places they both are almost similar. We have computer
Yeah.
science and information science, so like most of them are almost
Yeah.
similar. So you also have a YouTube channel, right? So what do you plan of doing with that? I saw you had some people coming onto your channel and interviewing, so you
Yeah.
can tell
So
about that also.
okay, so I had started my YouTube channel around a year ago, but I became active in the period when the lockdown and all those things started. So uh, there were multiple goals behind the starting a YouTube channel. Firstly, to enhance my speaking skills,
Mhm.
public speaking skills, and secondly, to get to a larger audience more quickly, more easily. Because blogs are good, but videos are great. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's why I thought ki maybe videos can help a lot more people. And I recently started a series called Interview Experience Series, where people who have interviewed at good technical companies, product-based companies, just come in and tell about how was their interview experience, what they were asked, all those kind of things. So I'm like troubling a bit because I have a lot of work these days. Even those people have work, so it's difficult to find time for those kind of things. But yeah, I'll just try to put at least one video every week, and hopefully it will work out.
Yeah, that's nice to hear. That's it, Rishikesh. Thank you for coming on to the show. I think you told a lot. People will find this very useful, and that's it. Thank you very much. You have anything
Thank you.
left to say to the viewers?
I guess
For-
yeah, I've covered everything.
Yeah, okay. That's it, everyone. Thank you very much. I'll share all the links related to Rishikesh's channel, maybe his LinkedIn and his other social media handles in the links below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.